So in the past few days, Mel Kiper put out one of his first mock drafts. I think it may have been his first mock draft of the year. And so I want to take a look at who he had the Packers selecting at pick number 23. And now that we are into the offseason officially, it is, time to start shifting towards more of a draft focus, the more offseason free agent type focus. And so I'll do a lot of videos like this throughout the offseason, reacting to different mock drafts, things like that. And I'm just starting pretty recently, getting into some of these players and what I think the Packers could need going forward. And I'll probably have a video out soon breaking down the Packers' biggest needs, things like that. But here is from Mel Kiper in his mock draft on ESPN. He has the Packers taking Mike Green, outside linebacker from Marshall. And here is what he says under the pick. Who knows who was the last first-round pick out of Marshall? You have to go back to 2003, when quarterback Byron Leftwich went number 7. Leftwich is one of 3 Marshall first-rounders of the Common Draft era since 1967, joining Chad Pennington, 2000, and Randy Moss, 1998. So it says something that Green could join that group. Green ranked in the top 10 nationally in sacks, 17, first, tackles for loss, 22, second, and pressure rate, 15.5%, ninth. He wins with speed to power, and he displays good bend and strong hands, despite tying for 8th in sacks, 45. The Packers were 22nd in pressure rate, 29.8%, and 26th in pass rush win rate, 34.8%. This feels like a good fit. And for me right now, I am leaning towards the Packers' biggest need being edge rusher. That's how I'm feeling right now, and that's probably how I will continue feeling. But I think when you look at the Packers last year and their defense under Jeff Hafley, there's no doubt edge rusher was the biggest problem. And right now, I think I want the Packers to take an edge rusher in the first round because Lucas Van Ness has not been good enough as a first rounder. Hopefully the Packers can actually hit on their next first round edge rusher. And when you look at Mike Green, he had a ton of production in his final season in college. And I think there could be a concern about, the level of opponents he was playing. But there's no doubt, watching some of his plays from last season, he's a very explosive guy. And when we look at where other sites are currently ranking him, here we have it from NFL Draft Buzz. His overall rank for all these scouts is 44.3, position rank number 4. The people who have him ranked the highest is PFF at number 11, and then it sort of fluctuates 21, 25, 33, 34, all the way down to CBS putting him at 90 and ESPN putting him at 92. But considering a lot of these people have him, PFF are all the way at 11, and some people in the mid-20s, I would assume that he's at least going to be a second-round guy. I don't see how the discrepancy among NFL teams could be as wide as this is. And so he could be someone that's available in the first round when the Packers do pick. And as I said, the Packers pass rush is an area that going into 2025 needs to be bolstered. We lost Preston Smith. He hadn't been playing great. Lucas Van Ness hasn't played great. Rashawn Gary got better throughout the end of the season, but he's not playing, I think, as like a top 10 edge rusher. And so looking at that room, edge rusher, in my mind, biggest need right now. And when we look at the Packers and their edge rushers, there's an interesting point here made from Bill Huber, Sports Illustrated. He said, one obvious question is his size. Green is listed at 6'4", 248 pounds. That's a bit small by Green Bay's standards. Among Green Bay's regular defensive ends, Brenton Cox was the lightest at 6'4" and 250, followed by Kingsley and Enagbare at 6'4", 258. Lucas Van Ness is 272, and Rashawn Gary is 277. The thing for me, when you look at Brenton Cox, he was much more productive than Lucas Van Ness this year in his snaps. And I think that, having a guy, looking at Green, he is very quick and much, faster and gets off the ball faster than a guy like Lucas Van Ness. And considering Brenton Cox was so productive this year, and I think that, he's going to be a solid player going into 2025 as well. Looking at what Mike Green did, the level of production he already has in college, leading the FBS in sacks, he's someone that I do find pretty interesting for the Packers. And I think, looking ahead, If the Packers weren't to add any edge rushers this offseason, I think that would be a massive mistake by Brian Gutekunst. And even if the Packers weren't to spend a first-round pick on an edge rusher, I would expect in the definitely first 3 rounds, the Packers to bolster the edge rusher room. I think that it's a massive necessity. So I think that Mel Kiper targeting that position is a wise move in round 1. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.